My name is Cynthia. I'm from East Harlem.
My name's Steven. I'm also currently live in East Harlem with Cynthia, originally from Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon?
Yeah,
What
and
can you tell me? Huh?
I'm originally from New Jersey.
Okay. What can you tell me about Portland?
It's a great city. I mean, it's definitely changed in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
I think a lot more people have been kind of moving there in hordes, but in a good way, because I think the people that are moving there are very open-minded and wanting to drive good change, but definitely a different city.
What was your first impressions coming to New York?
I immediately fell in love with New York. I would never live anywhere else besides New York.
So you're not going back to Portland?
Never.
You're done with Portland?
No.
Or what can you tell me about Jersey?
So I feel like New Jersey is pretty similar to like New York in a way, where it's very diverse. There's a lot of, Hispanic people. There's a lot of Black people. It's not like where it's just, I feel like one ethnicity. It's very, diverse. So I feel like moving here was easy because like I was already exposed to that.
Yeah.
So moving here was very similar for me at least.
Okay. What are your strengths and weaknesses?
Strengths, I think, I feel like I'm good with talking to people and understanding needs for certain things. Weaknesses would probably be maybe like technical skills of certain things. Like, I feel like whenever I go into something, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, but I can always learn how to do it. But connecting with people, I think, is the best thing that I'm good at.
What about you?
I feel like a strength for me is like I'm very good at like if you tell me something, like I'm very good at like I'll do it. So if you're like I need this done, I'm good at doing it. But a weakness for me would be like I don't know when to say no. It's hard to say no because you feel like you're in a position where it's like it's not okay to say no. You have to be able to do whatever you're being told to do. So I feel like for me that's one of my weaknesses is being able to say no when I can't do something. Even though like I know I can't, but I have to be able to say no.
Now, what brought you to New York?
So I came here for college originally when I was 18. I came here for the first time when I was 14, I think. And I literally just came to the city, and the first day I knew this is where I'm supposed to be. I in high school was living in the rural South. Like I grew up in Portland, Oregon, but I lived in Little Rock, Arkansas for high school. So it was a very not accepting environment. So I knew that I wanted to kind of move to somewhere that was a lot more liberal and LGBTQI plus friendly. So I got to New York and I'm just like, this is absolutely where I need to live. So I applied to one school, came here, never looked back, never considered moving anywhere else.
What about you?
So as diverse as New Jersey might be, I feel like the reason why I moved here was because I felt like there was more room for growth, for opportunities, as in like my career. At least I felt like I could do more here in New York. And I felt like as diverse as New Jersey might be, New York is more diverse in the sense that like you have so many different cultures and so many different people coming from all over the world. Where it's like, as New Jersey, like you don't have as much. You have it, but you don't have as much. You want to experience something bigger. You know what I mean? So for me, like I feel like moving to New York was a chance to experience something out of my comfort zone, something that I like grew up with. You know?
Is that still holding true during the pandemic?
I feel like even during the pandemic, yeah, there's still so many people that are not from America, that weren't born and raised here, but they're from different parts of the country that like, you know what I mean? Like, they're stuck here. They were stuck here. They have to adapt to this, in this culture. And I feel like I'm able to see that even during a pandemic.
With the pandemic, sorry to jump in, but with the pandemic too, I feel like I almost like New York better during this pandemic than I did beforehand in a weird way, because I feel like we finally have the city to ourselves for actual New Yorkers, and it's sort of reshaping what different neighborhoods look like and where people are spending their time and money.
So you brought something positive out of something negative.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's good. All right, now if you could time travel, what year would you go to?
What? I'm sorry.
If you could time travel, what year would you go to? Either past or future.
I would personally go to the future. And I don't know like what year or time period, but I feel like we've gone through the past and obviously learned what we need to learn from each time period. So I feel like we can only progress forward. So I don't think I would go back in time. I mean, it would be cool to like, I don't know, be in like the Renaissance or something
Yeah.
and like experience that. But I think for me personally, I'd like to like see what's to come next. But I'm not like in a hurry to do so.
I feel like for me personally, like I would like to see 5 years like into the future to see like what we've learned from the past, you know, from the Black Lives Matter, like the protests. I want to see what we've learned from that, what we've been able to achieve since then. I want to see, of course, obviously like the pandemic as well, like how far we've been able to, you know, come back from that. So I feel like in a couple of years, like I want to see like how are we doing economically? How are we doing, you know, as a society overall? Like, what are we doing to make things better for everyone, not just one race, but for everybody? You know,
Okay, if you could redo a part of your life, what would it be?
which part would I redo?
Still sticking to the college?
I would, well,
Yeah, you go
personally for
first.
me, so I would redo college. I feel like I listened too much to my family.
Well, first of all, what did they tell you to do?
They told me to choose a career that I knew I would for sure get a job in. You know, like
Like what,
a nurse,
nursing?
like
Yeah.
a nurse, like a doctor, like a teacher, something that I knew for sure would land me a job. But I didn't feel passionate about those things. I felt more passionate about like starting my own business. That's what I wanted to do. But my family said no because where's the stability in that? Where do you know that you're gonna get, you know, that income from? Like where is that gonna come from? It's not gonna come from a job that you made up, you created. So for me, like I listened so much to what my family wanted, and I spent so much time in college trying to pursue something that my family wanted versus what I actually wanted. So in the end, like I chose what I actually wanted for myself, and I'm good where I'm at. But had I just listened to their opinion, like I would still be, I feel, stuck in a position where I wouldn't know what I wanted to do with my life, you know.
So you would have studied business.
But I ended up studying.
Oh, that's what
business.
you ended up doing.
Yeah. So my
But you
family
wasted
said-
your time doing something else earlier
Yeah.
on?
So my family was like no to becoming a lawyer, but when it came to business, they were like also no. But then that's what I stuck to, a business degree. I wanted to become a marketer, you know, and that's what I did. And I'm good now, but had I listened to them, I wouldn't have even tried it, you know.
One of my friends did the exact opposite. He did 4 years of business school, and then he graduated. He went back to college to get a nursing degree, and now he's a nurse, and he's a man too.
But because he listened to his family,
No. It was just like maybe society. I guess society kind of
Yeah.
favors business, or
yeah, and it does, yeah.
How about you?
Looking back now, there's definitely things that I should have done differently, but I don't regret a single part of my life. Like high school was probably the darkest time of my life where I definitely was like figuring out sexuality and where I wanted to go and a lot of other different things. But I feel like I needed kind of that experience of being constantly almost beaten down and like rejected in a way to like kind of figure out what I actually do care about, because I don't think that if I had that like in Portland, for example, growing up there I was super happy, and of course there's like bad things that come day to day, but I don't think if I hadn't moved to the deep south in like Arkansas, I don't think I would have ended up in New York. I don't think I would have ended up in a job I really like. I don't think I would have ended up in a lot of different experiences. So I do think that while it sucks to kind of have these terrible things, it does kind of propel you in the direction of what you want.
All right, let us pretend for a moment that New York didn't exist. Where would you be?
I feel like if New York didn't exist, I feel like I was somebody that was meant to be in the Caribbean. I'm meant to be somewhere that is warm, that is just a tropical area where the culture is very like, not just diverse, but it's more like everything's so natural. You know what I mean? Like the food is so natural. Like the people are just so not into like labels and styles and certain brands and whatever. So I feel like for me, like if I were to live in a different, time period, like for me, I would be somewhere like the Dominican Republic, like Jamaica, somewhere in the Caribbean for sure.
I have 3 cities that I've been to that like really resonated with me. One of them was New Orleans, so like a U.S. city. I just think that's such a interesting culture, and I feel like it's so different than the rest of the U.S. there. Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, I also super love. I was there for a summer and really like the people there and just the culture there as well. And then Cape Town, South Africa was just gorgeous, and again, there's so much to do there, and as well as good people, and it's a cool, interesting place.
I think you're the second person to say Cape Town.
I love Cape Town.
I've never been there, but
It's literally tattooed on my wrist.
oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So it left a deep impression on you.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, now if you all had $5,000 a month coming in, would you still work?
$5,000 a month? Oh, absolutely.
You'd still work?
I've been working since I was 15 years old. My very first job was at a McDonald's, and I feel like that's all I know. I have a very strong work ethic, and I'm so used to it that I could never give it up.
You couldn't just sit around.
No. People have to work for what they want,
Yeah.
I think I'm the same way where, yes, it'd be great to have that passive income, but I feel like have such want for like luxury things and experiences and travels where I need more than $5,000 a month, probably. Or at least I want it. I don't need it. But
What would your dream job be?
I would love to, well, I mean, obviously anyone would love to like win the lottery and be able to like do different things. I would love to be able to kind of like manage kind of charitable giving and corporate social responsibility for various like big companies. Because I think there are so many giant corporations in America and anywhere in the world that like have so much money that they could give to other places, but they don't necessarily do a good job at like allocating where those go. So I would love to like figure out how to best increase CSR and kind of figure out where those best needs are. But again, that's kind of a job that's a little bit developing and not super thought out right now.
Bingo.
I feel like for me, I've always been someone that wants to give back. I may not have had a lot growing up, but I know like it's hard. And I feel like if I were in a position where I could give back to community, like I want to make sure that the homeless are fed, they're sheltered, they have enough where they can survive. You know what I mean? So for me, like I would want to be in a job where I can give back to everybody that needs help, and obviously right now I'm not in that, but ideally, like that's what I would want.
Would that almost be like a social worker?
Almost, yeah. To the point though where I'm able to, I want to help every single person, not just some people. No, I want to help everybody,
Yeah. Okay, now where were y'all coming from before you came to this park?
We were at brunch.
Yeah.
We went to brunch, had some great food and some mimosas and sangria. But yeah, we lived together.
Where do you recommend folks go for brunch in New York here?
Where'd you say?
Where do you recommend anyone go for brunch here in New York?
Oh, I mean, that place we went to was really good.
It was really good.
It was called Yucca Bar. It's in the East Village. It's very good. So I would recommend that.
Yeah, I definitely
There's so
recommend
many
that.
places, yeah.
There's a bunch of other places. Poco is really fun in the Alphabet City. It's more of kind of like a party brunch with like good music and bottomless drinks and all that. Essex is good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good
So
spots.
many.
Or where are y'all going once you leave this park?
Once we leave the park, where do we want to
We're
go?
possibly going to Pieces around the corner for a drag show. If not, we're going home.
Yeah.
All right. Can you do a New York accent?
I have a terrible accent, but let me try it. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have some coffee. Get a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese. That's as best as I can get. I'm from
One more time.
Jersey. I'm from Jersey, so it's kind of hard, but like,
It sounded convincing. You did the body language thing too.
thank you, because like that's how you talk.
It's,
You know
it's
what I
the
mean?
full,
True,
full
true.
package right there. All right, now where have you been? You said you've been to a bunch of places, countries, states, anything like that?
I've been to every continent in the world besides Antarctica. So I could list a lot of countries and cities, but
Any stand out to you?
the ones that I mentioned are places that I want to go to or that I would live in. Iceland is really cool. I recommend also going to kind of some places that a lot
Any
of
places you don't recommend?
Oh, that's a good question.
Be like, yo, I wasted my money going over there or something.
That's a really good question.
Because a lot of places, you know, they get hyped
Yeah.
up in the media, and then once you
Right.
actually get there,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't
London.
understand why people. London?
London, I think, is the most overrated city in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of friends that live there, so I don't want to shit on it too much, but I would absolutely never live in London. It's a shittier version of New York, in my opinion.
What was wrong with it?
I think that, one, it's sleepier, like everything closes earlier. I
But
think
wouldn't that apply for all of Europe, though?
No, absolutely not. I think there's a lot of, like, Ibiza, for example, in Spain, they have their, like, I mean, if you're in, like, the party scene, their clubs are open till, like, 8 a.m., so, like, you're going out. And there's a lot of places in Europe that are way more kind of nightlife friendly than New York, for example. But yeah, London was just like sleepy. It was kind of overpriced compared to the rest of Europe. A lot of the people were a lot more like closed off too. So like, I know New York, we kind of have a reputation of like, oh yeah, we're kind of like standoffish and like you don't talk to people, whatever. But like London, I think is like times 10. Like it's, I don't know.
So they lack that hospitality.
Yeah, and again, there's a lot of really awesome people in London. Like I have a lot of friends that live there, so I don't want to shit on it too much. But it definitely, I think, when you're comparing like London to New York, for example, New York's just a million times better. But
What about you? Any places you travel to?
I've traveled places outside. So like I've gone to South America. I like the Caribbean, and I feel like personally, I think it's important for people to do that because I think not only do you get to experience the different cultures, but it makes you appreciate life more. Like people don't realize like you have it so easy in America versus like these, you know, third world countries where it's like they don't have what you have. You know what I mean? They don't have the resources to provide for their families and things. So I feel like for me personally, like getting to go to the Dominican Republic or getting to go to like Peru, like at least I'm able to see that like I need to appreciate what I have here because those people don't get that luxury. You know, it can be something as simple as like even getting, for me, like I've experienced like getting something as simple as like, you know, a gallon of milk. To me, it doesn't cost much here, but to them, it's a whole paycheck. You know what I mean? So I think for me, like going out and experiencing those different cultures, like I'm able to see that like I need to appreciate more what I have here because they can't get that there. You know what I mean? So I do think it's important to travel. I do think it's important to experience different cultures because you don't know how easy you have it here until you go out and you see the real world, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't have those luxuries to afford those things, so you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they do what they gotta do. You gotta support your family, you gotta feed your family. At the end of the day, it's whatever you gotta do to provide.
All right, what are some places you want to visit in the future? Because, you know, we're all like stuck here right now. We can't travel, we can't go anywhere.
I definitely want to go to like South Africa.
yeah,
I would love to experience South Africa. I feel like Iceland is another one on the top of my list. I do want to
Cold don't bother you?
that. The cold wouldn't bother me. It's more like I love that they're so, as far as it comes to the environment, they're very conscious of that. And I feel like that's something that we can
Like they're
all,
very green.
yeah, and I feel like we can all learn from that. And so I would want to experience that for myself though. I want to see
Yeah.
what that's like, you know.
I have a few places. Like in Europe, I would love to go to Croatia. I've heard like nothing but good things there. Southeast Asia, I would love to go to Vietnam, for example, Singapore. heard like it's crazy and like way far in the future. South Korea, Japan, obviously. And then I would love to do like a full trek around South America, Bolivia, going like the salt flats. I think would be really cool. I basically want to go everywhere. Antarctica is also a big one on my list too, but maybe a little bit more down the line. It's expensive.
All right. How well do y'all know New York?
So you're newer to New York, so I'll let you answer.
Yes, so I just moved to New York last July. And I'd only been to New York, so I'm from Jersey, so I've been to New York a couple of times. I wouldn't say I'm very, like, I know it so well, like the back of my hand, like I don't need my Google Maps for it. But I feel like I've gotten to know it pretty well.
Yeah, you have.
To the point where I'm like, sometimes I don't need Google Maps to help me, but I mean, it's a big city. It is. So many boroughs, I feel like you do need to know.
Yeah.
You know?
I've only lived in New York for, I guess, 7 or 8 years at this point, which I guess is kind of a lot, but I feel like I just like deeply, deeply love this city, so I feel like I know it pretty well and kind of...
So you would know which direction is north right now.
Oh yeah, Empire State Building, that's like, or I use like kind of like the major skyscrapers as directions of like, okay, Empire State Building, that's going to be north from here, World Trade Center, that's going to be south from here, so kind of utilizing those major landmarks.
Okay, what are some good places to film videos like this in New York?
This is definitely a good place.
I love parks. I feel like Central Park, like Randall's Island, I feel like that's where we live near. I feel like that's beautiful.
Oh, you take that bridge to go across
Yeah.
the
It's
walking bridge?
beautiful.
Yeah.
Also, oh sorry.
No, keep going. Like,
I think in Central Park specifically, I know obviously there's a lot of like touristy areas there, but Sheep's Meadow, even though it is kind of in a touristy area, I feel like it is just local New Yorkers there, and I feel like there's so many different types of people there, whether they live uptown or downtown. I feel like everyone kind of gravitates towards Sheep's Meadow, so would recommend there. Seaport also in Fidei is an interesting place, I think. I guess more kind of like when it's nice out and there's like outdoor stuff going on. There's a ton of people there, especially local. Stone Street. Yeah, I feel like kind of like the cultural mecca of New York is Washington Square Park, so I think it's definitely a good spot to
this is a good spot.
be.
All right, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? I think you kind of touched on it for a second there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, someone that came from New Jersey to New York, I feel like obviously like I want to experience the city. I want to experience the different cultures. Like I want to be more diverse. In 5 years, I mean, I'm in my early 30s in 5 years, so I feel like at some point, like I want more. You know, I want a really good job where I'm just like I'm making enough money where I can support myself so much that it's like I can afford my own place. I do want like a family. I want to see that grow. I feel like New York is like, I don't know, it's like what you see in the movies. It's like you can make it whatever you want it to be. Like if you want it to be, you know, just you and your significant other and living in this beautiful apartment and, you know, just both working your jobs and doing whatever, like that's wonderful, but you can also start a family here. People think that you need to have a house.
Oh, you're staying here after you start a family?
I might, I don't know.
Because a lot of people will say they're leaving, like in a few years.
Yeah, and I feel like they feel that way because you feel like you have to have that big house with like the backyard and, you know, all that, but you can stay here. You can start a family here. Do you have to stay here forever? No, but can you start it here? Absolutely. I could have a kid and my husband in an apartment. Why not? You know? Why not? And continue to chase my dreams and my goals. Why not? You know? So I get where people are coming from when they want to move out of the state. I get that. But it is possible to have all that here in New York. I think so. You know? So I see myself like, if it's just one kid, I feel like I could stay here in New York. If I have like 3 to 5 kids maybe, then yeah, maybe a house in Jersey. But
So back to where it all started.
yeah, basically.
I think when it comes to the question of like where do you want to be in 5 years, it's
But
definitely
where do you see yourself? Like something
Or where
like,
do I-
let's
okay.
talk realistically
Yeah.
here. Because somebody talked about like winning Grammys and all that stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and I totally get it, and I've obviously been asked this question many times in various like job interviews and things. But to be honest, I hate this question because I don't even know what I want right now. So how the fuck am I gonna know what I'm gonna want in 5 years? So I think it's more important to ask yourself like, what do you want today? What do you want this week, this month, and kind of figure out what are these little steps that you can take to get towards that goal. And then wherever you end up in 5 years is wherever you end up. Like if I was to think of myself, or if I was to like talk to myself 5 years ago from right now, oh my God, whatever answer I would have said, I would have been like, absolutely not. Like, why did you ever think that's what you wanted in 5 years? Like, because looking at where I am now, I'm like, I would absolutely not want that right now. So I think it's an interesting question to ask where you can kind of plan some goals maybe, but I'm very much, I've realized recently especially, just focus on today, focus on right now, and kind of go from there.
Okay, now what were y'all doing during the lockdown in March and April when everything was shut down?
Oh,
How'd you make
man.
use of that time?
That was such a depressing time. I literally tried to find so many like new hobbies and things that would like keep me entertained during that time because, like I said, it was depressing.
What kind of hobbies did you go to?
I tried reading. I tried exercising. I tried like yoga. I tried running. I tried just even cooking like new recipes, like just things that I could do to keep myself entertained because it was hard. You don't see your family, you don't see your friends, and it's like, so what are you supposed to do? You're basically stuck, and you have to find something to make yourself, keep yourself entertained. So that's basically what I did, and it was hard. It was a struggle for sure.
What about you?
Yeah, when the COVID kind of first started, I think the weekend before we went into lockdown, my mom was like texting me. She's like, please just fly back to Arkansas, just be here, like, because it seemed like it's gonna get really bad in New York. So I'm like, okay, I'll go.
Oh, 'cause
And
it's like less populated, right?
yeah, and I thought it was gonna be like a week-long vacation, or not vacation, but like week-long stay there and kind of just like whatever. And I packed like a little carry-on, and then I ended up staying there for 2.5 months. And then when I was there, even though it was safer there was more like opportunities to do things there. I just
Outdoor activities, you mean?
there was outdoor activities, like more chances to like meet with like family members, things like that were like right there in my
Barbecues.
parents'. Yeah, all that stuff. But like I had to get back to New York because like even though it was worse in New York, I just like needed to be here, and I feel like I needed the culture and all that. And finally, when I did get back 2.5 months later, it was like the first night we had like the pots and pans banging on 7 p.m. when like we were cheering on healthcare workers, and there was like New York by Frank Sinatra playing on like a giant speaker. So it was just like, once I got back, I'm like, okay, I'm so happy that I'm finally back here, because it's like, even though it's easier somewhere else, I don't want it. It's not for me.
So you're willing to take the risk?
Absolutely. There's few things I would do it for, but New York is one.
All right, now, are y'all content creators?
Are we what?
Content creators. You make
I-
any videos or
Oof,
take
no.
pictures, anything like that?
No.
I technically do for my job, but not like individually.
Okay. Who do you follow on the internet? Any,
I feel like a lot of politicians. I feel like I follow a lot
you're a
of
political
politicians. Yeah.
So
Love
who-
AOC.
It's because and it's because mainly like I want to keep up to date. I want to know what's going on, in society, like as a whole. Like, what are we doing to protect the people that can't afford to pay their rent right now? What are we doing to protect the people that, need those stimulus checks? Like, I want to know. So yes, I follow the vice president, the president, like, yeah. So I feel like there's so many people that I follow right now because I want to be up to date with everything. The current news. Always like me.
I also, same thing, but I also love TikTok. I feel like that's by far the largest social media platform that we should be looking at right now. And oh my god, my For You page, it's like it knows me better than I know myself, I feel like, where I open it and it's like, how did you know? These very specific niche videos were like what I wanted to
What are
see.
you watching? Dance videos?
With TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
or comedy.
it could be comedy, it could be political. It's really
Oh, they
a
got political videos on there too?
I have
Yeah.
political videos on there. I have business videos talking about stock market and things like that. So it's really a range, and I feel like people are really like underestimating the power of TikTok.
So you're very engaged in that platform. It sounds like.
Absolutely, I think it's by far the most valuable platform at the moment.
All right, wait, whose idea was it to come do this video?
This
It was
one?
my idea,
Yeah.
but I thought it was just going to be Cynthia doing it. But I was
Yeah,
like,
because I
okay.
feel
What do
like
you think it was?
It
so
was,
he thought it was just gonna be me, but I feel like he.
but then I
Yeah,
just joined.
he felt like it was.
Well, what was your thoughts approaching me though? Because like everybody has like different ideas like before they
Well,
talk to me.
that's why we saw your sign and we asked you like,
Yeah.
you know, what is this about? Like, what are your
Did you think I was trying to troll y'all?
Maybe, but I'm also
Yeah.
a very impulsive person where if I see a sign like that, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, let's just do it without like thinking about it.
Yeah.
This hopefully is not.
You're impulsive.
I'm very impulsive.
Okay, do you consider yourself to be a leader? Or
I,
why?
yes, actually. I don't know. I would like to like be humble and say no, but I think I am.
You like to take charge?
Yeah.
Oh, sort of. I am very like collaborative, where I like I'm not very opinionated necessarily, but if someone needs to take charge, I will do it.
What about you?
I feel like same. Like, I'm the type of person that's like, I want to get things done. So if I have to take that leadership position, like, I'm gonna take it because I want to make sure that everything gets done the way it needs to get done. You know. So I feel like, yeah, like when he mentioned that you had that sign there, I was like, you know what? Yeah, why not? Check it out. You know, and you asked us the questions, and I feel like if we can answer them, why not help you? You know what I mean? Why not do it? What's the harm in that? Like, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, so if Steven has his own opinions about this, that's fine, but I'm gonna have my own opinions for myself, you know? And I feel like we both have our own opinions, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, I see you got some jewelry on here. What does that mean to you?
So I have an evil eye for protection. I also have my evil eye earrings. That's also for protection. This actually was a gift. It's my name and an elephant. When someone gives you an elephant, from my understanding, they're giving you good luck. They're wishing you good luck. So anytime you wear an elephant or you have something that's an elephant that was given to you, it's supposed to bring you that luck, you know? So for me, jewelry, I'm only gonna wear it if it means something to me. Like, if it's gonna bring me luck, if it's supposed to mean love or compassion or whatever it may be, then I'm gonna wear it to express myself in that way. But I don't feel like jewelry is something you should just throw on and be like, oh, like, yeah, whatever. No, it should mean something to you. Why wear something that doesn't represent who you are or what you want in life? You know.
What culture are you talking about? You talking about Indian? For the
For
elephant?
the evil eye.
No, the elephant.
Oh, the elephant. So this was actually a Valentine's Day gift from one of my best friends. As far as the luck goes, so I'm half Peruvian, and my grandmother always said that elephants, when you gift them to someone, they bring you good luck. So I don't know. My friend who gave me this is Colombian, but I'm half Peruvian, so I don't know if she took it as like my Peruvian side, like she knows it represents luck, or if it's from the Colombian side where maybe it means something different. But to me, when someone gifts you an elephant from that Peruvian side, it means that they're trying to give you luck in life. You know?
What kind of advice you got for the young folks out there?
For me personally, it's do whatever you feel like and your heart is right. If there is something that you feel like you would be passionate about, go for it. Don't listen to your family, don't listen to your friends. Do whatever feels right to you, because I guarantee you that you're going to be much happier doing what you want versus what someone else wants you to do. For me.
I totally agree with you. Something of kind of random thing that I've done that's been very beneficial in my life is if I ever have a really big decision I need to make on, say, like choosing a major or choosing, do I want to go after that person or do a relationship, I'll literally set an alarm for myself at 3 a.m., wake up at 3 a.m., and like when you wake up, you're kind of just like out of it. But whatever decision you immediately choose is the one you actually want deep down. So just wake up at 3 a.m., write down that decision, go back to sleep, and then the next morning, you'll, I promise you, be like a little bit amazed about what you chose, because like you'll realize it'll kind of like all those pieces will come together, and you're like, oh wait, yeah, this is actually what I wanted deep down. But like when I'm awake during the day, I'm like overthinking and thinking of every little part of this. But just wake up in the middle of the night, make a decision right away, write it down. I promise you, it'll just be worth it.
Okay, if I were to give you 3 wishes, what would it be?
Ooh, 3 wishes. Ooh. Personally, I'm someone that I think of others before myself. I put everyone else before me. So I want to make sure that if I had 3 wishes, I want to make sure that everyone is sheltered. I want everyone to have a home, to be warm, especially during these times. I want everyone to have food. And I want everyone to have good health. So maybe like you may not have the most money in the world, but as long as you're good, like you're not sick, you don't have COVID, you don't have the flu, you don't have something like, you know, like a fever, that's good enough to me, because your health is the most important thing. So I feel like for me, it would be nothing about me, more about like, want everyone to be sheltered, have food, have good health. That's more for me.
Similar, I would. This is a tough question.
You sound like what politicians want to sound like.
Oh.
They want to sound like, you know, they care about the people and all that stuff.
But that's the
But I
thing,
think
like,
you're doing it for real.
I think it's, my thing is more like, I look at it as like, I have immigrant parents, so I come from nothing. So obviously, like, I want other people to have what I'm working towards, you know what I mean? So yeah, I can see why it's like, it's very similar. I can
They
see
want to sound like that because they want to
Yeah.
sound like they care, but you're saying it, you know, from your
No,
heart.
I
So it's a
genuinely,
huge
yeah.
difference. What about you? 3 wishes?
I think with that too, my first wish would probably be something similar, where I would wish every single person in the world to have access to all those basic necessities, because it's been proven that we do have the ability to, like, we have the resources, we have the money to have every single person in the world have access to these various resources, like basic things like shelter and food. So I think it's beyond dumb that we have like billionaires and all this kind of excess that shouldn't exist. Second, I feel like now I'm like in a political mood and I'd be like, getting rid of Donald Trump forever, but whatever, he's out of office, so we're not going to talk about him or waste a wish on him. I feel like I would love to just have I don't even know like what this would look like, but just being able to have maybe it's money, just have the freedom to, like, whenever I wanted to, go anywhere I wanted, do the different things I want to, because I think with careers we get so kind of consumed in like our day-to-day work, where it's like we could be passionate about various things that we're working on, different projects that we want to do, but if you're so consumed day-to-day, you can't actually do those things. So like if maybe my wish is money didn't exist in a way, where every day you woke up and you kind of decided what's important to me today, what do I want to do, and you're just doing it. So I don't know if that could be a wish. Third thing, oh god, I don't know. Eating whatever I want and never gaining weight. Dumb one, but
Okay, eating whatever you want without being
Yeah.
like sick or anything, like
That
bad
would-
health or anything. Just
Yeah.
eating things that taste good, because
that would be
all the things that taste good are all bad for you.
So
yeah.
they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eating, relationship, I think eating goes.
Okay, great. Now, do you want to plug into your social media?
Sure. Do we write it down?
No, you could just say it.
My social media is Instagram at @Snollmeyer, SKNOLLMEYER.
And my Instagram is at Cyn, CYN, VICIOSO. My first and last name. That's how you find me.
In my Instagram bio, I also have a link to articles I've written for a site called Shut Up and Go. So
I do
you can read
have-
those there.
That's perfect because I have one for Black Lives Matter. If you want to donate money, I've donated it in the past. If anyone feels like they would like to contribute some form of money to the Black Lives Matter protest and like the cause and overall, I do have a link attached to my Instagram as well.
Okay, we'll check that out.
Yeah.
You want to give a shout out to anyone?
Honestly, just shout out to everybody that's willing to listen to these messages and wants to educate themselves and better themselves and try to contribute to society as a whole. Like, you don't just have to contribute to New York, but if you contribute to any state, anywhere, anybody, like, please do it. Like, it makes such a difference.
Yeah,
I feel.
definitely.
So.
And shout out to my grandma Judy.
We wish her good health.
Yes,
prosperity.
absolutely. Especially during these hard times. Yes.
All right, now, do I have your permission to put this on the internet?
Yes.
Of course. Yes.